Hi, I am going to keep this video far more informal than I normally make them because I want you to know that if you are in the trenches with your skin and your acne is really getting you down, that there is hope and that it will not be this way forever. By sharing a little bit more about my acne journey with my skin and sharing a little bit more about the things that helped me, but also like all the stuff I went through because I have a feeling if you're here, you're like deep in the trenches. So I'm just going to share some of the stories and some of the things that I so wonderfully went through when I dealt with acne for over 15 years. I also go deep into it in our Clear Skin Blueprint Masterclass, so you can comment Masterclass below and I'll send you more information there. I think we should go back to the beginning, which means 9 years old for me. Yes, I was 9 years old when I first started breaking out. I was definitely the only fifth grader with acne. And I was definitely the only fifth grader with acne on picture day. Picture day, right? Like picture day. And I'll share a picture of my skin on the screen from that day. It's very old. It's an old pic. And I just remember, full disclosure, I would have mental breakdowns every day before I would go to school about my skin, right? My poor parents. I'd wake up and the first thing I would do would be to touch my face and feel where my new breakouts were. Where are the new ones? How big are they today? What's healed overnight? What's gotten worse? What do I have to deal with this morning? Right? That was my daily routine. And I remember even in fifth grade, we had music class, right? And the drums were in the back of the class. And all the boys wanted to play the drums, right? But I would beat them. I would race them to the drum sets. I was not good at drums, but I would race them to the drum sets so that in between sets, I could hold the drumsticks like in front of my face to hide my skin. No one was looking at my acne in music class. Everyone was looking straight ahead and trying to like play instruments because we were 9 years old. But all I could think of was like any way that I can hide this throughout the day. I have to hide this. I think things got a little bit better for me in middle school because then everyone started breaking out. It's not like I want everyone to break out, obviously, but I didn't feel so black sheepish, right? I was like, okay, everyone has glasses and braces and acne. Cool, we're 13. However, at that time, my period started getting really bad, which is all like, it's all linked, okay? But my periods were really painful. I think my mom had to call the ambulance one time. Like it was very dramatic for how bad my cramps were, right? And again, I was like 12 or 13. I'd also gotten my period when I was 9 too. So that's when I first started breaking out. So it was always very dramatic, my like hormonal health, right? And my skin health, which are deeply, deeply linked. I was also chronically constipated, again, deeply, deeply linked. And so I would go into this like 60-year-old man's office, God, probably at least once or twice a year. And he was an older doctor, had no kind of empathy, to be honest, for what I was going through at 13, right? I'm like a young girl, young woman, not woman, but like becoming a woman, trying to build my identity, my self-esteem, trying to understand who I am. And I'd go in and I would be like, hey, my mom had a little bit of like holistic nutritional stuff on her mind. And so I'd be like, hey, do you think that, this hot chili cheese dog diet, Dr. Pepper, Starburst, bagels, and pizza could be impacting my skin and or my periods and or my constipation? And sometimes like he'd say, yeah, of course, like you're constipated because you're only eating bread or something, right? But when it came to my acne, he was always so dismissive, and he acted like it was the stupidest question I could ever ask, right? I remember it was always like, no. It was always that. And I always just left feeling so bad about myself, like stupid. And now my skin's even worse. So we finally decided on an action plan, which was, spoiler alert, not an action plan, just a pill, birth control pill. And then I spent the next 10-ish years going on and off the pill or oral antibiotics, right? Like doxycycline, minocycline, I think was one. And again, none of these things really, like sometimes they would clear my skin depending, but then I'd have to go off for these other horrible side effects. Like doxycycline would definitely make me like super constipated. So I could only take it for a little bit. And then my acne would come right back. The birth control pill, for example, might clear my skin really quickly, but then I'd like gain 15, 20 pounds or something, or I'd have really bad depression. So I was always going on and off all these things and still eating pretty poorly and just not being the healthiest version of myself. And as a result of that, right, like I did a great job in my life. I was a very accomplished high schooler and even in college and all these things. Like I did a great job, but I was always like at a little disadvantage because my hormones were completely out of balance entirely. I remember once decided to get bangs, like they were much shorter than the ones I have, these little curtain bangs that I got going now, but I decided to get bangs. And I had some frenemies that I was hanging out with. I'll say it, they were frenemies. They weren't very nice friends. And we're at the pool. And I remember I was sitting in the chair and they were in the pool and they were talking about me. Again, they were not very nice people. They were joking about how I had all these. I remember one girl in the pool was like, she's got all these tiny little bumps on her forehead. It's so gross. Right? Like talking about all of the texture that I had on my forehead. And I just remember I wanted to crawl out of my skin. Like their skin was perfect and they ate terribly. They barely washed their face. And here I was on like a 10-step proactive routine. Adapalene, different gel, Retin-A, the birth control pill, doxycycline. And my skin looks terrible and you're making fun of me for it. Like I felt, I just always wanted to crawl out of my skin. Literally. So fast forward, I get to be in my mid-20s. And I remember I was in a play. I did a lot of acting in my mid-20s in New York City and then in theater, summer stock. And so I was 26. And I was in a play and we were on a raised stage and I had a really big role. And I had all of my acne at that point was all here. It was nothing. I like, honestly, you could almost look at me face on at that point. My acne changed also all throughout the years. But at that point, I just had these like deep nodular cysts all here, right? And I had, a gentleman friend who was coming to see the play. And because the stage was raised and I had a big role, right? I knew that his tickets were going to be like in the very front row or so. And instead of thinking about the fact that I had this amazing role and I was doing well in my career and all these different things were awesome, all I could think about was that my boyfriend was going to come see me and he was going to be in the front row and he was going to see like my jawline cysts. That was all I could think about. That's how much acne had taken over my life. This person was going to drive 4 hours because he cared about me. I doubt he cared about my acne. I don't think he did. And all I could think about was not my accomplishments, not all the things that were going well, but that he was going to be disgusted by my skin. And outside of this fear, I remember at the time really fundamentally thinking to myself, I am 26 years old. Everyone said my skin was going to clear up in my 20s. Everyone said when I was a teenager, one of the things they would say was like, it'll be done soon. Everyone has acne now, it'll be done soon. And I just remember being 26 and waking up at this theater summer stock program because you sleep there and you spend all your time there basically with all of these other actors and everything was great. And I just remember being like, they lied, right? Like the world lied to me. I still have acne and I'm 26 and no one else here has acne and I do. At this time as well, I was training to become a fitness instructor. I had always hated working out. like working out, running, all those things. I always played sports, but I never really like enjoyed it until I got to be 24, 25. One of my friends got into the New York City half marathon and asked me to run it with her. And I did. And the training was incredible. And then from there, I decided to become a fitness instructor. So I was already starting to learn about like nutrition stuff in a way that I had never understood before. And again, this was a long time ago too. It's like the internet was different. I don't even think Instagram, like all these things weren't as big as they are now. So I was learning stuff just independently. And so I'm there at this theater, summer stock, and I have time to do some research. So I'm training to become a fitness instructor, doing research, and I find this dermatologist. I was in New Hampshire at the time, and I was like, this really young dermatologist. And I think to myself, okay, she's 35-ish, right? She's going to get it. Like, she's going to understand how much acne has taken over my life. She's going to be sympathetic, and she's like, from her resume and everything she had done and helped people with, I was like, she's going to help me fix it for good. I know she is. And so on one of my off days, I decide to go and have an appointment with her. And I'm pumped, like, because I had decided she's it. So I get there. I go into her office. They put me in one of those gown things. Like, why? I don't know. I was like completely naked. It was cold. It was awkward. I don't understand. I didn't understand. And I'm like, before she comes in, right, I'm going through all this, like this long list of things that I've tried, right? I'm like, this, and this. Okay, got it. I'm going to tell her this. This is the timeline. And finally she comes in the room and I'm like, amazing. So it begins, right? And I start to outline everything that I've tried, everything that's worked, everything that hasn't, all the treatments that I've tried. And as I'm talking, I feel like a balloon that's like slowly deflating, because it's very clear to me in 15 to 20 seconds that this appointment that I had put so much faith in was going to be like all the other appointments, because she really didn't care. She barely listened to me. I think she took 60 seconds listening to my story. She did not ask any questions. She completely brushed me off. And again, in about under 2 minutes, had already turned around and was like washing her hands at the sink. You know how doctors do that when they're done with their appointment, right? They want to like make sure their hands are clean before they go to their next appointment. So she's washing her hands at the sink and she's like speaking to me over her shoulder. And she's like, I don't know what else to tell you, Jill. You've tried everything. I don't know. We have this like $500 light treatment. It may or may not work, but you can try that. And I just felt so deflated in that moment for so many reasons. First of all, you're brushing me off. Second of all, I had so much hope. Third of all, why are all dermatologists like this? I'm going to say it. Fourth of all, I haven't tried everything, clearly, because my skin would be clear. And I'm pretty sure I was rude to her. And like, I'm never rude. I don't want to ever be rude to someone, but I felt like she was really rude to me. So I just left very quickly, right? I was like, you know what? I'm good on the $500 light treatment that may or may not work. I'm good. So I leave. Pretty sure I peeled out of the parking lot because I remember they had like a lot of gravel, and I remember just gravel like spewing behind my car. And I remember being like, ooh, that's a little dramatic, Jill. And then I just cried the whole way home, the whole way back to like where I was staying. However, as I cried and cried and cried, I had the greatest Oprah aha moment ever. It's like a light bulb flashed into my brain and it changed the course of my life forever. And here we are. No, I'll go into it. So I kept repeating what she said, which was like, we've tried everything. We've tried everything. We've tried everything. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. We've tried everything. And in this like brilliance moment, I realized she was right. We had tried everything but my food. And I have asked y'all from North Carolina, I had asked y'all every single dermatologist appointment, minus this one because she barely looked at me, are you guys sure it's not my food? Are you sure it's not that I haven't pooped in 3 days? Are you sure it's not the massive history of metabolic disorders in my family, aka type 1 and or type 2 diabetes? Are you sure? And every time everyone had assured me that I was crazy. But because I had started learning about nutrition, health, and wellness in my fitness classes, and I also knew that I had tried every single other thing under the sun to fix my acne. And I also understood that what I was eating was impacting my heart health, my colon health. Every part of my body was impacted by what I was eating. Food impacted, really, really simply. My dog just sneezed, sorry. Food impacted my organs, and my skin is an organ. So I started to really understand that food was impacting my skin. And I realized that it was what I was eating. And I realized that I had been asking the right questions all along. I had been asking the right questions about my food, my nutrition, my gut health, blood sugar management. All these questions have been the right questions to ask because they were the root of the issue for me. So I get home and I had had so many topicals on my counter, right? Including, and so many other like antibiotics, all these different things. And I did something that I do not recommend you do. Okay, do not do it. I do as I say, not as I do. I threw everything into the trash. So I was like, it's not working anyways. It really wasn't working at this point. I literally just like swept it off the counter into the trash can. I decided from that moment on, I was like, I am clearing my acne naturally, full stop. That's what we're doing here. I'm not doing it these other ways. They're not working. And for the next, I'd say 4 to 6 weeks while I was in summer stocks, I was acting at night. During the day though, you had your day free. I went deep, okay? I went to the library every day. The library. I went really deep into everything that leads to acne. I looked at every single study that was possibly available at the time. I combined what I was learning in my fitness and nutrition and health stuff. And I decided I'm going to put together a plan and I'm going to clear my acne naturally. That's how this is going to go. And so I put together a plan. And then again, because my days were free, I had a lot of like flexibility to follow things. I could be really specific with my food, etc. I followed this plan for 30 days and my skin cleared completely in 30 days. And it has been completely clear ever since. And I remember within 3 to 4 days of starting it, my digestion started to change. My inflammation, especially here, lowered dramatically. I had more energy, like everything shifted very, very quickly. And obviously I was excited. Obviously I was happy, but I was also like, you've got to be kidding me. I've been asking about this for a very long time. 15 years to be exact. And y'all were wrong. Y'all were lying to me. And then I will say though, I got back to New York City, which is where I was living at the time, full time, after I cleared my skin entirely. And I was walking by like a store on Madison Avenue, I think. And I caught a reflection of my skin that was clear. And I was so excited my skin was clear, right? Like life changing. And I had all of these scars. Like I had like really deep indented scars, like the pickaxe scars, I think, like where you literally see the holes in your face. And I remember I was like beside myself. Like I couldn't believe I had struggled with acne this long. And here I am now like this, like really, I have scars now. However, I obviously don't have any scars. My scars healed very fast. I followed a really gentle plan and literally my skin has been completely clear ever since. And that day really, that experience really changed my life. I remember kind of for 2 main reasons. Number one, obviously it deeply impacted my confidence. But number 2, it freed me up to focus on my life. Like I wasn't thinking about acne clearing anymore. I wasn't waking up freaking out in the morning anymore. I was waking up every morning like, what am I going to do today? Who am I going to be? What am I going to go after? And I got a brand new job. I was working on Wall Street for a really long time. Again, after being an actress, which is no easy feat, I will tell you. I started teaching fitness. Again, I had groups of people staring at me all the time. I never thought about my skin. I was able to focus so much time and energy on travel plans. Travel is like basically one of my main passions in life. And I was able to travel all over the world And then one day, what happened was I was thinking about making a career change, a big shift in my life, and I realized that helping other people heal their acne naturally was this like perfect combination of all of these values that are important to me in life. So, helping people while supporting myself was this perfect combination. And if I could help other women regain confidence, regain control over their skin, but fundamentally just heal their body, that would be the dream. And so I started my website. It was actually called Heal Your Face with Food at that time. And then here we are today with the program being labeled there, or being called the Clear Code. And I wanted to share that story in that way, kind of like story time, because if you've been struggling with your acne for over a year, I know that it has probably taken over your life. It's almost like a backpack that you carry around with you everywhere, and it gets heavier and heavier every month that your skin isn't clear. And I really want you to know that you will absolutely, if you continue on whatever path you're on, like even the fact that you're watching this video is a really great thing because you're seeking knowledge, right? Whatever path that you're on, you will clear your skin. And I really want you to have hope for that. I I struggled with terrible acne for 15 years. It was the bane of my existence. And then one day, I got the right framework, the right plan in place, which is called the Clear Code now, my Clear Code. That's what we help other people do. And my skin has been completely clear ever since, and it changed my entire life. So that is possible for you. Okay. I don't want to simplify it or be like, oh, just do this one thing and you'll be totally fine. No, it's a process, but clear skin is possible for you. It's possible. It's possible. It's coming. That being said, I wanted to share some resources at the end of this video. So we have a Clear Skin Blueprint Masterclass you can check out. I'll share the link below. And that goes a little bit, not as deep into the story, to be honest, as I just did of this story. But that being said, it goes deeper into the kind of 6 root acne triggers, how you can pull them all together, kind of these 6 secrets that helped me define that plan that cleared my skin in the first place. And you can get more information about what clear skin could be like for you in your life if you join a program like the Clear Code. And or 2 other resources that I love to share that are really, really popular are our Clear Skin Glow Guide. It has a full list of all the nutrients. It has meal plans, action steps you can download for free. Or our Cycle Syncing Guide. Again, a really popular one to help you understand your hormones better. And I really like both of these together. Basically, if you watch the masterclass, download the Cycle Syncing Guide and the Glow Guide all together, watch them all together, or watch the video and use the other ones, you will feel like a whole new world opened up, hopefully, and really understand how much hope there is for you and your skin if you've been struggling for a really long time. So if you're struggling, I feel you. I hear you. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I hope this video has inspired some hope. I hope this video has inspired some hope for you. Okay? You've got this.